I got some hilarious irony that I'm going to show you guys. It doesn't get probably more hilarious than this. So you remember the last segment, or the segment that I did, and we had already released it. We discussed very weird people, or let's say a person's, but it embodies kind of the Twitter normies. A person's thread basically justifying tokenization, particularly the one that goes from, let's say, white to black. And we went through the thread. The thread was absolutely hilarious. And this person, that same exact person, ended up discovering the video that we did where we talked about the thread. And then what they did was try to send people to, it's kind of like what T. Franklin tried to do, where they were like, hey, look at this guy. He should be reported in some way, be it for harassment or some copyright stuff. And it didn't work. And the T. Franklin person that I'm referencing is the DC Comics writer who had tried to, literally told people to report me. Now, this person thought that they were going to do this same thing. And remember, this all stems from this person putting out a public thread. I respond to it, say this is nonsense and this is exactly why. And this person took issue with the fact that I did a video on it. And they had some of what, and some person did, big shout out to Enjoyer5 who had made note of this. And this person, of course, they blocked me, by the way. I do remember that. They did block me. And then what they did was they kept talking about me. I'm like, all right, whatever. And because I would get random, like, and they're all bots for the most part. Like, there's no semblance of who they actually are. It's just, there was no, I'm like, dude, send me your leader. Because every time they kept coming to me with something, they'd block me or they'd delete their post. Suckers. So this person said, and after looking at some of my videos, says, I found him, y'all. Look at this loser's content. He want to be white. He want to be a white man so bad. And what this is, and Enjoyer5 actually pointed that out. And this is a point that you've heard me made a million times. White folk, particularly straight white men, are the only folks who can have whatever fucking position it is that they want, and they're like, number one, their whiteness, or their just existence is not questioned because of it. But in the event that you are, and it's not just an experience with black people, it's, you know, it happens with, you know, you got Latino people, you know, they call them coconuts and all kinds of shit. There's a word for that in terms of what they would call me. And that is that you have a position that differs from what this hive mind believes that you should have in terms of your position, just based off of your ethnic background. And then your ethnic background or your makeup is questioned because of it. It's the dumbest fucking thing ever. I've said this many, many times, mainly because there's no one way to be that. So whether it be black, whether it be whatever it is, Asian, whatever it is, Indian, doesn't, well, I guess which is technically Asian, but you get it. There's no one way to be that. And what it does is it tries to strip people of their individuality and them being a sense of an individual, because you're having them have to live up to a standard that is, again, based upon some shit that they couldn't control. They were just born that way. And their race, it wasn't something like you accomplished being black, you know what I mean, or being white or whatever. You were born that way. You had nothing fucking to do with it. It's just what happened regarding your parents and their lineage. So, of course, that's a stupid fucking position, but it ain't gonna be the first person or the last person that says it. It's an eject button, essentially. It's, oh, wow, he has a position I don't like. I can't really argue against anything that he says, so I'm just gonna say that he's a black person that wants to be white, which is, of course, applying to me is one of the dumbest fucking things. Because, again, at no point have I ever tried to pretend that way. And at no point have I ever, and I say this all the time as well, have I ever begged for the acceptance of white people or begged to be acknowledged or embraced by white people, which is literally what these types spend all of this shit doing on the internet. Remember, all of this stems from this person justifying black versions of white things. Said we need black wizards, said we need black knights, and all of this stuff. Basically black things of European culture. I am the person that's saying Africa, for example, has its own rich mythology and all of that folklore that is virtually gone untapped. And instead of using that, you want the hand-me-downs and the sloppy seconds of white people. So when they call you coconut, or in this case, a coon or whatever, you have to understand it's a projection because they only see legitimacy in white people. Ever. That's it. They've only ever seen legitimacy in white people, which is why they always want black versions of white things. It's a literal projection. That's it. It's how they feel because someone else points it out. I'm the one that's trying to go to bat for originality. And I'm going to show you how it's done coming very soon. But here's the irony of all this. Now, y'all know I've tend to have my, be back-to-back champ. This is what happened to that person. Now, I didn't advocate that you be reported. I didn't tell anybody to report you. You must have said something that pissed Twitter off. So, ironic. The person that tried to get me struck, the person that tried to send this campaign on my shit, Twitter said, no, you get the fuck out of here. Now you get what you fucking deserve. And anybody that uses that as a tactic, which I don't use, you'll never see me saying, okay, you don't like me, or you said something that I don't like or I disagree with, and therefore you should be completely removed from a platform. I've never been that guy. That's for losers, right? I'd rather just make fun of you or, debunk the positions it is that you had as opposed to trying to deplatform you or something, which is what this is what makes it irony, right? This is what it comes back around, don't it? And again, Enjoy Your 5 says the dust, another one. And yes, and it's a person biting it because that's exactly what it is they did. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last. I did see a post where people were that I guess follow this weirdo were like trying to be, please reach out to Twitter and have them reverse it. I'm willing to bet money that these are going to be the same assholes or have been the same assholes who had no problem with other people being completely removed. And they actually advocated that people be completely removed from Twitter regarding their political positions and all that. And now, again, you get what you fucking deserve. And here we have, thank you, big shout out to High Level Turtle, who sent me an example of this. This person in their Discord says, sent in a copyright claim to take the video down since he used my art. God, you're stupid. That's not how copyright, first of all, in my thoughts of IP aside, that's not how copyright works. So you tried to have my shit claimed and it's not gonna work because it's obviously fair use completely. You put the shit out on Twitter and I was giving commentary over the whole thing. So obviously it didn't work and it was never going to work. And this person found out this way. Says apparently, again, this is the person that is now suspended. I don't know how long this is going to last. Says I can't claim my art because it's a commentary video or something. But I've seen videos get taken down before, even though they were used for discussion, reviews, etc. before. But I've already sent in the email, so we'll see what happens. Nothing's gonna happen. The video's not gonna go anywhere. There's literally nothing you can do. I am sorry. Now, I say this obviously with experience, certainly in this realm, with people that are way bigger than you. Nothing's going to happen. There is nothing that you can do. You lost. And it's your own damn fault. Now, this is what we have to deal with. You know what I mean? Weirdos who don't like something was said. And it was just me explaining how this person was dead wrong about the post. And they, instead of even coming up with some sort of counter argument, which I would have welcomed. I've said this before. If I talk about something it is just said, you can always respond. And I'll be obligated to have a discussion with you. But you didn't want to do that. Instead, it's like, ha, he wants to be white or something. And I'm going to send someone to, I'm going to send someone to, I don't know, or send my people to flag your stuff, or I'm going to have your copyright struck or attempt to for having commentary over a fucking tweet, you idiot. So you lose. And you got suspended. And I don't know how long that's going to last or if it's going to be permanent, and now you're going to have to make a new count, try to build that up. But either way, you get what you fucking deserve.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.